Welcome to the Ron Stokes Buckeye Weekly Update, brought to you by WOW Internet, Cable, and Phone.
This is Ron Stokes, and welcome to WOW Internet, Cable, and Phone. And our segment today is with Jay Burson, former Ohio State basketball player. Jay, thanks so much for being here today.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here, Ron.
Well, Jay, I know that currently you are serving as the pre-game analyst for the 97.1 FM, The Fan, and just want to get your thoughts on the team so far this year.
Well, a terrific start of the season. I think that what I've seen mostly from this team is just their unselfishness and their toughness and their willingness to kind of use their advantages, which is, probably a lot of guards and long arms and quickness, but also to be able to use that to their advantage in each other. Now, with Evan Turner and what's happened to him, there's going to be some changes now going on forward. But what I like most is probably just even the character of these young men and their willingness to do whatever it takes to try to win basketball games.
Well, you talk about that unselfishness, based on the statistics as we see it, they're leading the nation in their assist-to-turnover ratio. So that goes a long way in terms of taking care of the basketball and being efficient on the offensive end.
Well, it sure does. And again, it goes back to the nature of these young men. It means taking good shots, taking care of the ball, rebounding, and playing as a team. And we know we've talked to Thad Motta here a little bit earlier, and he was encouraged about his team and their willingness to play together and their willingness to do whatever it takes in order to give themselves great chances to win. He also was a little frustrated, a little concerned about Evan Turner going down. But I think he understands that's life, and that's what happens sometimes, and you move forward and now get ready to go on with the rest of the season.
Well, Jay, that segues into the topic on Evan Turner. Clearly, it was a very devastating injury, the worst that I've ever seen broadcasting in person. And I know that going back to your years at Ohio State, you suffered the break in your neck. And just talk about what went through your mind when you found out that you were hurt, and then what happened after that.
Well, just frustration. I think that as I look back, just mentally very difficult. Not only for myself personally, but then you look at your teammates and what we had kind of built for. If you remember, I was a senior. I had come in with Jerry Francis and Tony White. We'd put ourselves in a terrific position, 17-6. Number 17 in the country, trying to make a special run into the NCAA tournament and make a run at the Big Ten. That was something I'd built on for 22 years. And I think Evan's probably going through some of those similar things right now with his teammates and all the hard work they put in the last couple years and that grind you put in the summer to have something unfortunate happen like that. But as you and I both know, Ronnie, we've known each other a lot of years, that things don't always work the way you plan and you want to at the time, but they seem to work out best in the end. And Evan has to take this time to understand that, get himself better and ready to go, and and still support his teammates and see what happens with the rest of the season, and hopefully he'll be able to contribute later on in the year.
Okay, we'll be back in a second.
Let's say you wake up in 2010 and there's no gravity. What would you do? You could tether yourself to a tree. You could complain about your floaty hair and the fact that your car is never where you parked it. Or, in the midst of all the chaos, you could be happy that at least one thing hasn't changed: the price of your WOW bundle. Add WOW phone or internet service to your WOW cable, and your price is guaranteed until 2011. Because it feels good to know that not everything is going up. The switch is easy. Call WOW today.
Okay, we're back for part 2 of the WOW Internet, Cable, and Phone interview with Jay Burson. And Jay, thanks again for being here. And I touched on a little bit early on that you are back in the warm-up show for 97.1 FM, The Fan, doing the warm-up show for the basketball games. But in addition to that, what else are you doing?
Yeah, it's great to be back in town. I've got my family. We moved back to the Granville area, so it's nice to be back in Central Ohio, doing some things with Nike in the summertime, some basketball consulting, and then working for a company named Fundraising America, doing some athletic promotions for them, which is also helping promote a foundation I'm involved with. It's called Help Kids Play. So I'm back doing those type of things and trying to get around basketball, and it's nice to be in a friendly environment back with the Buckeyes.
Well, I know you've gone back and forth about this thing with John Diebler. Prior to John Diebler, you led the state of Ohio for the most points scored ever at the high school level, and I know John Diebler broke that record. Do you get a chance to joke with John Diebler from time to time regarding that?
I do. I got to talk to him a little bit earlier, and what a great kid. If there's somebody that you want to break your record, that's him. A terrific player and a terrific character kid. You know, my wife went to my high school and saw me play in high school, and she kids me all along now that she's disappointed I got the record broke, but she always reminds me I still have the record for the most shot attempts ever. And I said, well, there's no record really for that. She said, there doesn't need to be. We know that you've shot more than anybody else. So I take that onus. I take my elbow still sore, but we have fun with that in the family.
And before we end this, you talked about your wife, and you also have children.
I do. I've been married 20 years to Leanne and been terrific. We've known each other a long time. Got 3 boys. Lee's a senior in high school. Ty's a freshman. And then another guy, Jess, who's in 2nd grade. And they're certainly a blessing. And they teach you lessons every day about humility and about character and how you have to show those guys integrity because they're watching you.
All right, Jay. Well, thanks again and being on the WOW Internet Cable and Phone segment. And we'll see you around.
I appreciate it. It's been a pleasure, Ronnie.
Thank you for visiting Ron Stokes' Buckeye Weekly Update, brought to you by WOW Internet Cable and Phone.